Hey everybody, Bandicoot Commando here, and welcome back to Marvel Rivals. Last time, I read Loki's lore story, Destined Kingship, in which it goes on to explain how Loki was able to peer into Crovanium sap from Yggdrasil, and he saw multiple timelines of how Asgard has been destroyed and such. All but one where he is on the throne and he already has a plan on wanting to make that future come true. But it would require the alliance of Hela, and not to mention a little bit from one of the Norns. Who knows how it's going to turn out? So today, we are going to read Luna Snow's lore story. Sol He, equal parts pop star and superhero, Luna Snow puts on a dazzling show with both her light and dark ice powers. The arena is her stage, where Sol He and her team orchestrate spectacular displays that earn her an ever increasing number of fans and wins. Just for reference, Sol He is her real name. Luna Snow, I believe, is meant to be like a stage name because she's a K pop star. Yeah, I don't have any of her skins. Sol He. Luna Snow is. Okay, did not expect to cough all of a sudden. Luna Snow is more than just another K pop superstar. She's also a symbol of hope for her entire generation. Using her ice powers to keep tensions across the world cool, Luna has become a musical diplomat, ready to face any conflict that may arise. Tragedy nearly struck during Luna Snow's summer concert when a wounded Atlantean creature caused a devastating tsunami. Luna's ice held back the rushing tide and helped to heal the beast's injuries. She single-handedly saved countless lives and prevented the situation from escalating into a full-scale conflict between South Korea and the world beneath the waves. So here we go. Guests from the deep sea. High summer on the beach was a great time to be alive anywhere. It was even better when you were on a gem of the Pacific, Jeju Island. And it was way better when you were on Jeju Island singing in front of 100,000 screaming fans against the backdrop of deep blue sea and a cloudless sky. Luna Snow soaked in all in as she closed the fifth song of her set, Flow, hearing the fireworks go off behind her right on schedule as her last line. Finally, now we feel alive. Drove the. Oh, that's the lyric. Finally, now we feel alive. I don't know how K pop works. I don't watch K pop. Don't listen to it. Drove the crowd into an even bigger frenzy. Whoa, they're extra loud, she thought. Not just the crowd, but the fireworks even more so. Loud enough to shake the stage. Some gear fell over in the wings. She glanced at the crew, keeping her show smile big. It looked like they had things under control, but they were also looking around like, whoa again. The ground really shook that time. It wasn't in any kind of stage effect she and her choreographers had programmed into the set. A split second later, she saw it among the fans, a surge of fear passing through the crowd as they all felt the shaking and turned to face the sea. Then Luna saw it too. The horizon moved, a slow bulge at first, but as it approached, it grew into a great wave surging in the direction of the beachside amphitheater. A tsunami! But no ordinary tsunami, because behind it, no, within it, lurked an immense shadow, as if the wave had not arisen naturally, but was being driven by something below. How big would a creature have to be to cause a wave of this size? Already the water was draining away from the shore. That meant she had very little time to act. So act she did, springing off the stage and rushing toward the beach as the crowd scattered away. The wave was growing with no signs of stopping. She planted her feet when she reached the coastline and called up every atom of her cryokinetic powers. Singing a high, wordless note, she found the frequency of the waves and tuned herself to it, feeling the power flow from her. Through the wet sand at her feet and out into the base of the immense wave, dark ice shot up from the exposed seabed, threading up through the wave and spreading until the entire tsunami was frozen in place. Even though less than a minute had passed since she had left the stage, Luna had managed to calm the seas for a moment. And a long moment it was, the only sounds along the beach being astonished gasps and sobs of the audience. Then cracks began to appear. Something was moving within the ice. The shadow, she thought, and just as the thought formed in her head, the frozen standing wave front shattered. The momentum of the tsunami was broken, so its towering water flowed across the shore and back into the sea. But what emerged amid the battleship-sized shards of ice made Luna realize that she had solved the symptom, not the cause. The monster was perhaps 100 meters tall, octopus-like, with tentacles that lashed out all over the water as it churned through the shallows toward the shore, toward her fans. Its body was weirdly translucent, bizarre organs glowing within its massive form. In its eyes was pure, mindless rage. She had heard suspenseful tales of this creature, but never thought it was real. The menace from the murky depths, Monstro. Not to be confused of the whale of the same name from Pinocchio. As the beast arose from the sea, she saw something else. A jagged wound in the side of its body, where the tentacles all gathered. No wonder it's so mad. That cut is huge, she thought, as she skated towards the base of one tentacle, just below the corner of its eye. This creature was most definitely enraged by the agony of its wound. If it got to the shore, a lot of people would not be making it home from the island. But she wasn't going to let that happen. Hey, Monstro, she crooned, taking a step forward as Monstro's tentacles churned the shallows into foam that swirled around her feet. One of its tentacles slashed through the air just over her head. If she got too close, or didn't get close enough, all the people watching from the amphitheater and via streams all over the world were going to see the end of Luna Snow. And who knew how many other people? So, she focused on what she could do. She channeled her powers, the light ice she had learned how to wield as the other aspect of her cryokinesis blooming, where her fingertips touched the churning surf. She reached out, and the water around Monstro's body transformed into curling veins of warm, healing ice. They crept up, finding the wound and tracing its length. Luna trembled with the effort of healing the wound. It was so much larger than anything she had ever tried to heal before. Behind her, she dimly heard a new sound rushing through the crowd, but whether it was fear or excitement or anticipation, she couldn't tell without losing her focus. And if she lost her focus now, much more would also be lost. Little by little, her healing ice grew filaments across the wound, one side reaching toward the other. Monstro grew still, as if it knew what she was trying to do, or was biding its time until she failed. There! The ice linked up across the bleeding gap. knit it together again, then melted into Monstro's skin. Its tentacles fell limp for a long moment, as if in relief, like that was Monstro's way of letting out a long sigh. Then, slowly and peacefully, it slipped back out into deeper water and was gone, leaving huge chunks of ice to crash and grind against each other in its wake. Then Luna heard a voice off to her right. Surface Dweller, so-called superstar Luna Snow. She turned and barely suppressed a squeak of shock. Hovering above her on winged feet was none other than Namor, or Namor, if you go with the Spanish pronunciation, but I'm old-fashioned. I'm using what I know. Ruler of Talokan and all the endless expanse of the deep ocean. And apparently, he wanted to talk to her? Luna was a little starstruck, which didn't happen to her often, but she kept her wits about her enough to make sure that her mic was still live. Your Majesty, she said, welcome to Jeju Island. You need not welcome me to what I am about to possess, Namor said. Talokan shall soon rule this island, and all surface dwellers who venture here will kneel before me. I don't know about that, Your Majesty, Luna said, as she rode her ice into the sky to look him in the eye. At the moment, I think it's pretty clear that I rule Jeju Island. I mean, look at this crowd. The remaining crowd burst into loud cheers at this, and Luna let Namor soak it in for a moment. He might have been a mutant king, but she was Luna Snow, and nobody was going to bully her in front of a million fans. Careful, human, Namor said. I came here to give you my thanks, and while I admire your courage, if you show me any more disrespect, I promise that your song will be cut short. Oh, Luna gave a little chuckle, relying on cuteness to buy her some time. Well, in that case, you're welcome. And what are you thanking me for? She looked around at the mess of the melting ice was causing all along the shoreline. The creature you call Monstro, Namor said. It was wounded by the careless maneuvering of a submarine, and thus driven to a frenzy by the pain. Yeah, no one likes a bad cut. Wait, she said. A submarine? How fast can those things go anyway? The technological specifications of surface dweller vessels matter little to me, Namor said. They will all soon be laid to waste. However, the fact that Monstro, in its madness, destroyed some settlements of Talokan did concern me. You have saved not just the lives of surface dwellers, but citizens of the deep, my people. So, for that, you have our gratitude. Well, wow, Luna said. I don't know what to say. Perhaps you should say nothing? Nothing when more singing remains. Is that a little glint of good humor in Namor's eye? Or a subtle warning for Luna to stay in her lane? She wasn't sure until Namor spoke again. Let the humans here have one more night of revelry before the oceans rise. Since you're here, care to join me for an encore? Luna reached out her hand to Namor, hoping her music might help ease the tensions of two worlds clearly on the brink of war. The surface dwellers will get to see me perform soon enough, Namor said, each word soaked in disdain. And when that time comes, those who are wise will be cheering my name far louder than they cheer yours now. I find that hard to imagine, Luna said, glancing back towards her adoring public. You can't force people to love you, Namor. You have to earn it. And that's exactly what I try to do on this stage, every single night. The bond I have with my fans, that's something that no monster of the deep, not even you, can ever take away. Luna's icy gaze sent a chill down Namor's spine, but she quickly switched back to her usual positive persona the instant she turned to face the crowd. So, who's ready to get this show restarted? Even Monstro's roar couldn't have been heard over the pandemonium from the crowd. Music, Luna thought, it brings people together. But as she watched a grim Namor silently disappear back into the ocean's depths, she wondered how much longer that would be the case. Well, we already have signs of Namor wanting to just take advantage of having Talakon try to conquer the surface world. Luna is, I remember when I first started this game and when I recorded it, I had no idea who Luna Snow was. I knew she had to be original, or at least in my mind, she had to be original. And it turns out I was pretty much spot on. She isn't original to this game, but when Luna first debuted, she was an original character. She was from the mobile. It was from a mobile Marvel game. What was it? Marvel Future Fight? Is that what it was called? It was a mobile game where there were multiple different heroes and villains you can choose, but there were also some original ones that were in there as well. And some of those original characters immigrated over into the Marvel comic fandom, the Marvel comic lore and canon altogether. And Luna is one of them. And I find it neat that, no matter how older I get with these Marvel products, they are going to keep finding new characters to add in some way or form, and I look forward to whatever future characters they'll add into the overall canon from this moment onwards. If there will be any, but who knows. Anyway, that will do for this episode of Marvel Rivals. Join me next time as I read Magic's story. That is it, and I will see you guys next time.